Okay, I'm going to try to make this one quick. This is the Pride DX-300 next step. I got the high voltage board in from Nomad. I already went through that. I got the caps replaced from the low voltage board. For now, I'm leaving the original low voltage board in. It looks almost mint. I probably eventually will get Nomad's low voltage board, but for now we're going to try it. And this is going to be a low voltage unplugged in safe power up test for the low voltage. Now all the low voltage of a Pride does is run the relay, the key up, the preamp, and some of the LEDs. So we're going to test that. And how we could do that without plugging it in, you can see the LEDs are lit up there. At least the screen's not lit because you need screen voltage to light the screen LED. But the other ones run off the low voltage. And I got this low voltage 13.8 volt power supply wired in with jumpers right to where the low voltage comes out of the power supply board on that pin there. And then the other one to ground. So this amp has the 13 volts for the low voltage going through it right now. And I could key down and test the relay and the preamp. And since we've already done it, there we go. That's the right radio. You can see that's the key up relay. You can see that kicking in, and the preamp is on, and that's the preamp relay, and you can see that kicking in. So my keying circuit works. One thing I did found is my preamp does not work. When you turn the preamp on and that relay there kicks in, the bottom one, I'm gonna see if I can hold the camera and switch hands and turn the preamp off. Where are you? Over on the switch. You can see that relay moves a little bit. It's unkeyed now, so the preamp is off and it's keyed in. So the relay seems to be at least keying up, the keying circuit relay, but my receive goes down when the preamp is turned on, and it's usually that guy right there, 2N2905. They're notorious for going bad, especially on the preamp side. If you overdrive it, if you turn the preamp on while you're keyed up, it'll blow it pretty quick, and often it'll blow that diode. Too much zoom. It'll blow that diode under it and to the left. So I don't know if I'm going to take this board out and replace those, or just leave it alone. The preamps suck anyway. It's not a tuned preamp. So it brings in just as much noise, if not more noise, than it does signal, using them. And I got some very good selector preamps if I need a preamp. So, and there's a way to take out the preamp relay and just run a wire over the contacts to bypass all that stuff. Makes the RF a little bit more happy instead of going from that relay into that relay and back around, even if you're not using the preamp. So anyway, unpowered test, and the reason I did it on showed it is on 95% of tube amplifiers that have solid state relay circuits, or solid state key up circuit, meaning transistor key up circuit. They run on 13, maybe a little higher, 15, 16 volts sometime. And we could do this safely unpowered. If you have a transistor circuit that runs on positive, well, you can even do it on negative if you hook it up backwards, if you know what you're doing. But I wouldn't recommend you mess with the negative going circuit. And by all means, if it's a tube keying circuit, don't do this. Tubes run at high voltage. The reason for doing this is I can safely go in this amp, unplug, no high voltage, everything drained, and I can safely see that my keying circuit's working, is keying up, and I don't have to mess with that circuit, or if it needed work, I can work on it and test it and run it safely by using a low voltage power supply and not plugging in the amp and having this amp here runs on 2400 volts. So I don't have to, you know, worry about the 2400 biting me. And also on this amp, since the plenum, the forced air comes through the bottom and up through the tube, you don't want to run it the tube to have voltage on it without the cover on the bottom tube. And that's going to be it for this one. More to come, but this is how you can test, you know, 95% of the amps that have transistor keying circuits safely by hooking a power supply up to wherever the power, you know, 12 volt DC comes out at, and you can run it unplugged, unpowered, and I can safely go in there and play with stuff and test stuff and don't have to worry about shock and killing myself or killing the tube because, you know, it doesn't have air, you know, like it does now. So that's it for this one. Bye.